Fumble through! Fumble through! Fumble through! Fumble through! Fumbling through, fumbling through. Fumbling through, fumbling through. Fumbling through!
As the world turns and we watch the time go by, we remember to fumble through.
Fumble
A podcast so chill we don't need a fridge. Hey, funky friends, welcome back to the Fumble Factory. That was a lot of F's. So you get ready to sit back and do some dice and play some games and all that. I haven't really prepped anything. I'm tired. It's weird.
You can't tell.
No, at all. It's
Seamless,
seamless and exactly the same. So speaking of people who can't prep anything, Lindsay, socials.
Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok.
Okay, what's going on in the socials world at the moment? Are we on any trends? Are we
No.
Are we doing any challenges? Is there any posts?
What month are we is this going out in?
This month?
31st of July.
No challenges.
No
I
challenges.
hope everyone enjoyed their dry July. We didn't.
Is there anything?
didn't do it.
Is there anything coming up that we need to prep for?
No.
Just
Okay.
the tax returns.
Yeah. You know,
Fair enough. I haven't done those in a few years.
Right.
I need some more TikToks. If anyone has some ideas, let me know.
Okay.
Not on
Right.
TikTok.
Okay.
You should have done one with your
Yeah,
cutting your 8 inches off.
Yeah. Lindsay got a haircut for everyone. He got 8 inches of his hair cut off.
Mm.
Well, he didn't notice because he's wearing long pants.
I'm not Brett.
Oh, yeah.
That was a Wookiee joke.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice. Just look, full disclosure, we're doing something a little unusual right now. And we're recording during the day, which is not a normal thing for us.
Normally it's night time. We've had enough chance through the day to get our anger up, to get frustrated with the world,
Yep.
and come here and release that anger into each other and to this game.
I don't know that releasing your anger into somebody else is the term that we want.
That takes the effort to a whole new space, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's not where we want to go. So, I mean, it is a nice portent. I mean, we are down to 2 characters in this podcast, so it's probably going to be a lot easier for us.
Yeah, I'm assistant DMing now.
Yeah, so Lindsay, he says assistant DM. He's the assistant to the assistant
Well, maybe you
DM.
can pick us some time on the socials.
Assistant DM is called ChatGPT.
No, that's the DM. That is the actual DM. Now, I know that I mentioned the fact that it is early in the morning, like it is before midday right now. I'm about to have the first sip of my second coffee. But Brett, what beer have we got today?
Well, today at 10 a.m. in the morning, we are going to have a celebratory beer. I was thinking about Luke and his stories of back home and what's recently transpired in Old Blighty. On the 6th of May 2023, the king got coronated.
God save the king!
Ulster Brewers did a celebratory brew for that day. And I'll read the back because it's a good one. Ulster Distributions proudly presents, like a movie, Celebration Ale, brewed in celebration of the King's coronation on the 6th of May 2023. A clean, crisp, tropical, hazy pale ale. All Australian hops, so Australian hop forward, provide a stunning tropical fruit aroma with a slight citrus palate.
What's that, Skip?
It's an approachable pale ale. You can come to it. Perfect for celebrating the crowning of our new king. So I thought we might have a
Yes, let's.
crack
Right.
at...
Oh, it's only one standard drink.
It's one
Thank
standard
God for
drink.
that.
It's a morning beer.
Yeah, it's a wake up beer.
It's a breakfast beer. My daughter actually had a card from the king the other day.
Oh, that's it.
She wrote him a
Elvis.
letter a little while back saying, like, I'm really sorry about the death of your mum.
Oh,
And she got a card back, all officially sealed, stamped, and all that sort of stuff.
That's very cool.
It is, yeah. I mean, it's not his. I mean, it's printed. I'm pretty sure. Obviously, he has a team.
Yeah. No,
It'd be
he's been
impossible
doing-
for him to do it individually, but it was
I've
still
got too
pretty
much
cool.
head.
She was
Well, on the proper,
even after you took 8 inches off, mate. God, dear.
on the proper heraldry and all that kind of
Yeah,
like
all
with
of it.
all the
Yeah,
stationery
everything.
and-
Yeah, it was really cool, actually.
so this brew, much like the king, has a huge crown. The head is massive. So I haven't been able to pour it all into the glass, let alone drink it yet. I was going to...
Here's to you, King Chazza.
Long live the king. Long live all the queens.
Do you think that Camilla was actually happy that he became king? Because I watched the coronation and through the whole thing, she had a really long face.
Yeah, I was pulling that carriage down there.
So upset. You are a monarchist, aren't you, Luke?
I am, yes.
You are like which part of the monarchy are you? What are the bits?
Which part of the one king do you like?
No, but
Just the 8 inches,
what
I
are the
guess.
aspects
to
of
rule them all.
Because of course you could see some of the negative sides of the monarchy, but what are the
What
things
negative
that
sides?
draw you towards it? What are the things that actually attract you to the monarchy?
Well, it's part of my culture.
The beheadings.
Excuse me while I just sample this.
It's quite nice.
Oh,
It is a breakfast ale.
it's bitter.
So
It's tangy.
That hops
I
forward.
like the Queen Regent. No. Sorry, Queen Consort.
Well played.
I like that. That's nice.
Yeah. So it's
Lady
cloudy.
Camilla.
It does have a very large amount of fluff on the top of it. It's trying to find a way to avoid
That is a
saying
frothy one, right?
Yeah, it is. It is.
I really like that. Let's move on in a second.
That does not mix with the toothpaste.
Or the coffee.
I haven't had the coffee yet. It's
All
too
right.
hot. No, that is, I have to say, that is not my style of beer.
Well, it's hops forward, mate. Australian hops
it
forward.
is definitely not my style of beer.
Thank you, Ulster Brewing. Thank you for celebrating the king and his antiquated way of seeing the world.
Oh, Luke's upset. He's walked out. He's walked out.
No, it
He's
was
done.
actually
He's done. Is it?
I wasn't I was neither here nor there about it for most of my life, and then I think around my early 20s, back in the UK there was a program that aired looking at some of the stuff that the Queen does on a day-to-day basis. It was actually quite enlightening to see just how involved she is in the functioning of the country and various things that are going on. So, like a good example,
enlighten us, yes.
I know it's fictional to an extent with the program The Queen. So, like, and I was watching an episode of the season 3 last
Crown?
night. Crown, sorry, yeah. And where they showed her visiting Russia when Yeltsin got in after the wall had come down and all that sort of stuff. And like the diplomatic engagement that she had there as representative of Britain and like the weight that added to the relationship between Russia and the UK.
Well,
at
the
time.
Russians like, there are Jedi on the trip. Aggressive negotiations.
Oh, I did like the fact that they acknowledged that Yeltsin was an alcoholic and just pissed all the time.
Really?
That was pretty interesting.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
But yeah, no, so yeah,
But that was her. I mean, yes, she did do a lot of smoothing over. And as a monarch, I get that she was quite good at what she did, but I'm worried for the future of what
I'm not.
that
I mean,
is. It's going to
look,
have to
I know
change.
Charles's popularity is split down the middle. I think they either love me, or hate him. Very much like Vegemite, I guess. But William and Kate, like a tremendous amount of admiration and support for them coming up through. So
My favourite's Andrew.
What? Don't tell me why. So I'm not worried for the future of it in terms of its longevity, but I have no idea what it will look like in terms of its functioning
Its place
in the future.
That's what I
think. I think in a world where we're talking an awful lot about culture and cultural identity, it's such a strong embedded part of British cultural identity that I don't think it's going anywhere.
Okay.
Do you think he's going to be able to find someone to behead so there can be only one?
Only one what?
Highlander.
It's a Highlander. Isn't that where the Highlanders come from? That's why they go back to Scotland all the time.
Yeah. He's the king of Scotland.
Cool. Sturgeon's spinning on the spot right now.
What's a sturgeon?
Oh,
It's a fish.
Isn't that her name? The former leader of the Scottish Parliament? Never mind. Anyway, I don't want to get political.
Is that what
I'm not
Madonna-
going to get
It's a
political.
Weird Al song, is it?
Is that what
Like a
Madonna sang about?
sturgeon?
Yeah.
Yeah. But a sturgeon's a fish.
Is
It's a
it?
fish.
Yes,
yeah.
it is a big fish.
It makes the most expensive caviar in the world.
Really?
Mm.
Oh.
Yeah.
Cool. Morning records are great.
All right. Look, I'm going to bring us down to our dicey question of today, and because I'm all about the business. And you actually mentioned this before, Brett, about the GM, and we acknowledged it. I want to talk today a little bit about AI. What is your opinion of AI and how it will be used in like recreational and professional? Like, where do you stand on the AI world? Should we be using it to play D&D games, create characters, create stuff? Where are you at with this? Like, what are your thoughts?
Specifically for role playing or
I
life in
think
general?
A bit of both. I think there's two parts to this question to clarify for you, Luke. But I want to know sort of in the artistic realm of AI, but also because I know that there's been a bit of backlash for the Secret Invasion Marvel TV show because they made AI do all the artwork in the beginning for the opening credits.
Yep.
And they're getting a bit of backlash from that. I mean, you would think that Marvel comic books would have someone who could draw pictures or create artworks. You know, some of the best artists in the world work for Marvel. So what the fuck? But I don't know. I'm kind of torn, but I want to hear you guys. What's your thoughts?
As a consumer, I don't really care as long as it's an engaging story or as long as you get something out of it. As a consumer, you're achieving what you want. As an artist, I can't say that I'm a successful artist. Like I don't sell any of my stuff I do. So I can see if your whole life was doing art or writing something that is your job is then getting replaced by AI. Yeah, that's going to suck. But it's only going to suck if you're not successful. Because it makes it harder. So say for the podcast realm, if they start doing AI started doing a podcast.
Yeah.
That would affect us because we are...
AI started doing a podcast.
Did they?
No, you asked me to say it.
Oh, Jesus.
Right.
Morning
Anyway.
records.
For people like us who are trying to, get noticed more, it's going to be harder for us to then break through because it's just another...
Because AI knows the metrics and they've got the data set behind them. I mean, we could have that, but I guess like you said before, it's going to take out the middling stuff. It's going to take out the stuff that's not actually special.
Yeah, it's not going to stop you from being a successful artist. Like all that stuff AI is feeding off stuff that's created by man. So if you're a really good artist, it's not going to make your art less good,
So
just cheaper.
here's a question like with art. So it's speaking to that actually with art, can AI at the moment only basically it just trolls through everything that's there and uses that as a base to create something?
Everything AI does is derivative.
Yeah, so it's not an innovative and unique in the sense that it doesn't have that creative aspect that it could bring in a whole new genre of art that we've never explored before.
well,
because
it
it's never been
might.
Well, the
created.
thing about art isn't like there's the function of art, which is drawing picture, writing some words, playing music, performing.
Yep.
Anyone can do that, right? The function, the behind that is the interpretation or what you're trying to say, and AI has no voice, no creative space in that place. Someone has to give it the creativity or the impetus to form something, and that's for me nothing different to a box of crayons or moving from sign writers to printers, or it's just another tool. It's another tool in the kit to go, let's create some artwork. If you can use that tool in a way that's interesting and creates useful and interesting and compelling stories or narratives or ideas within the artwork, then for me that makes sense.
Digital art has been borderlining this for a long time. Like Photoshop has been using smart brushes and stuff that auto-articulate your strokes and change the way it looks for a very long time. It's not really anything new. It's just another tool.
Is the argument though for that whereas once upon a time that all still had to be manipulated by a person. So at the end of the day, I go to, let's say Luke's the person. I go to Luke and I say, look, I need you to design or put this, and I need this picture and this picture melded together, and I want a picture of Lindsay's face on this giant cock. And
Just a picture of Lindsay.
Yeah. And then that happens. I meant like a chicken. But
Right.
Yeah. So, but then there was always a person. Now we've got AI, and people are going to AI and saying, I want you to make this for me. Like I know we've used it. I've used it certainly before to go, what would it look like if I asked it to make a giant blue bird or a halfling standing on a rock? Or
I've got pictures of the three characters in the party
they're
ready
all-
to go.
they're all-
Am
well,
I able to use that at all? Sorry, Justin.
Yeah, well, I think we are, but that's I think what scares people is the automation of maybe some of that. Like when we think about a factory, right? Nobody actually gets too upset when you think, okay, a robot can now do something that a human used to have to do. Like
they did at the time.
In the manufacturing of a car door, they did at the time.
Yeah.
And then now it's like,
And that's where we are now.
robots are going to become fabricators. They're going to become the fabrication. So is it different to have AI fabricating other things like graphic design or artworks or boxes or, that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I guess the concern is really as if it replaces completely. Because even if it's able to produce new and novel things, I mean, it's still just technically one artist in amongst a whole bunch of
and that's the thing,
other creative people in that creative space.
If they do start doing AI podcasts, that doesn't mean I'm going to stop doing this. Like we've said many times that we don't do this for making money. We do this because it's fun. And that's the same reason I paint minis is I do it because it's fun. I don't do it because it's going to make me money or it's going to make me popular. I do it because I enjoy it and it sends me out. So there's always going to be people doing that because it's their passion. So it's just another,
It begs the question you said just before around like, the nth degree in my mind, I guess, like is for me in a world where people can sit back and AI and robots do all the work and we actually don't have to work anymore. I get closer to that Star Wars utopian where, because money is a construct, like that is a construct of man where if all the oxygen or the sun went out tomorrow, money means nothing because we don't actually need it to live. If the robots replace economy and we have automated things that allow us to live our lives the way that we want to without going to work and being fulfilled by something that we can actually find to fulfill us. Like that's my utopian version.
Okay, so
of that.
my question is, if you've got AI filling all the spaces like podcast, art, and all those sorts of things, what would you do with your time?
Whatever I wanted.
Yeah, but what would that be?
For me,
because I think personally, one of the things that sets us apart from everything else is the fact that we seek and have purpose in our lives. Whether that's your work or whether that, in that space, whether it's you go to work and you build stuff or you go to work and you educate somebody or you go to work and you hard penetrate, whatever it is that you do, Lindsay.
He's lost 8 inches. He can't get
That's
there.
right, yeah.
it's a soft penetration.
Soft penetration now, yeah. But, there's purpose. Not everybody likes their job. I get that. But most people generally settle in a space where there's elements of the job that you enjoy, and that's you find your purpose in that, and that is part of your identity. There's no escaping that. So if you remove all of that, what do you replace it with?
It's interesting that you say purpose because for me, my work, it fulfills me to some extent, but it's not my purpose. It is something that I do that brings me a sense of contribution or whatever. To that. But if you said to me, look, money's no issue, you can do whatever you want, I would still do stuff. I would still do stuff that finds me purpose, but I think I would be freer to do more whimsical things or do things like, if I wanted to study, a D20 and the probability factors of that because I've got no idea, I could spend time doing those things. But what if you've got an
AI that you just ask the question, it does it for you? If you take it to the nth degree and you've got AI that can do absolutely everything, where does your motivation to do something like that come from when all you need to do is ask an AI the question and it spits the answer straight out?
Because the sex robots would be so good I wouldn't leave the house.
It's also, this is my problem. Okay, so why are we talking about this now instead of asking Google?
Well, I was going to say, why don't we ask ChatGPT to give us a dicey question?
Because like this is the thing is like quite often people at work don't really understand it, but at home I always ask the question rather than just asking Google because that's the whole point of conversation that is dying if you just ask Google. Often we debate it and then find out the actual answer, so we all learn the question. But like it just because the answers are there doesn't mean the pursuit of knowledge can't be something that you can enjoy.
I think that's the thing. There's a couple of things in this for me. One is the pursuit of knowledge means there's a definitive answer. And AI can't give you a debate about something that is non-definitive. What's the meaning of life, AI? It's fucked. Can't do that. It can't philosophize. It can't sit in that grey space.
42.
I mean, your whole thing about what's your purpose in life kind of thing. I have no idea what my fucking purpose in life is.
But I think that's one of the things that AI is doing. It's like we are looking at the slow erosion of the class system in our society, that from social media and people rising through being grassroots liked rather than having a kind of pedestal to sit on, from capitalization being eroded because you can, get a dollar from a million people really easily now. There's a whole erosion of the class system, and AI is kind of supporting that to go, anyone can be anything. You just need to ask the right question and ask it in an interesting way. So the creative economy, I think, will be the thing that separates us, because you can't use AI unless you've got a creative impetus to use it.
I think, Lindsay, you're confusing my question with what is the meaning of your life with what is the purpose. At the moment, your job, I don't know if we want to talk too much about that on air, specifically about what we are allowed to say and what we can't say, but you have a job which has a specific role which you do that contributes in some way to the cogs that roll our culture along. So that's what I'm talking about. That if you remove that and AI takes all those sorts of things and you're sat at home and you don't need to go out and work, and you don't need to do these various things that we do as menial tasks of the day, which still provide our self-perception of our input into society. So
self-worth, or
do you know what I mean? So like, if you don't have that, because AI has replaced the necessity for all those things, and you are able to be whimsical, I guess what I'm thinking is the capacity for humans to just be fucking lazy, it ends up being we're all just sat around doing shit all.
You're doing floaty chairs.
Yeah, you're doing nothing. Because you don't
we're
have to.
We're living an
no
Instagram
purpose.
life.
Yeah,
But
that's exactly right.
I think that's why I talked about the class system, because that makes sense in that bottom rung where people had to do things to survive. There was a middle class that would help manage those people, and then there was an upper class who were those people who didn't have to do shit. You could sit at home and do fuck all, and your purpose in life is not to minimize it, the King of England. What's the purpose, right? What do you have to do? What does Bill Gates have to do right now?
And
they will find their purpose because they can, not because they have to.
But you're talking about a tiny percentage of society that has the space to do that. What if everybody in everybody at every level or whatever is in that space? What happens then? It's saturated with people that are
except
whimsical.
There will always be problems to solve, right? We won't have to go, all right, you need to go and plough the field because everyone needs to eat, and you need to plough enough for the people in the tiers above you to eat because they're not going to. But we will always have someone to go, all right, we're going to explore the world. We're going to explore below the ocean or out into the universe, and we need to band together as a society to do that.
But then again,
I can't do that.
Of course, I can. You could program whatever you could even get the AI to program the bots or drones or whatever to go and explore and do it.
But somebody's
got
to come up with it, and I guess that's the you look at the Star Trek model of the world, right? They've kind of done that. Nobody needs to work. Like I sat here just a second ago and I thought, wow, this is that story of in the utopian communism. Everybody has a contribution. Everybody gets the same amount out of it. There's no 1%. There's no lower class, middle class. Everybody's getting fed. Everybody's got a house. Everybody's got all that stuff. What do you do in that space? It gives us time to be together.
We literally had this. We literally had a lockdown where people had no idea what to do with their lives anymore for X amount of months of time. Yeah.
We're essential.
Yeah, essential workers had to work. But how many X amount of people started sourdough starters? How many podcasts were created in that time?
But how many people committed suicide, increase in suicides? How many people had mental health issues because of all those things that came along with that?
I'm not saying
exactly the same problem.
Yeah.
Because that lack of purpose, that lack of the reason I get up to do something and whatever. Yes, small minority of people, I absolutely grant you, decided to start new businesses, take the opportunity, and you will always have that element in society. Absolutely right. What I'm saying is huge droves of the culture couldn't cope with that.
We're lost.
Yeah. So either it's a transition into that space where we learn how to be there, obviously. But if it just happens, I don't know.
I mean,
I think you're right. I think there's a pivot though to go. We are capitalist driven for so long, and it's embedded in who we are, in our id, right? Money is the way we keep score right now. When you move from that to status or respect or another form of keeping score, the population's going to have to shift considerably to reconcile that. They can't just go, oh yeah, now the things that I do are going to be the way we keep score, not the money that I earn. You can't do that overnight. That's the transition. So people who have built their life about, well, I'm just going to, flip houses and make a lot of money, and I'm not sure that there's a lot of purpose or a lot of good in that, that they're then going, well, anyone can flip a fucking house, and actually anyone gets a house for free right now. So that makes no point. What am I doing here? Someone who's out there going, well, I'm the Fred Hollows of the world who wants to give everyone sight, that those purposes, those things that are kind of bigger than who you are or that keeping score, I think will always be present.
And I think that's why I kind of am very pro AI helping us do stuff, is because that's mainly my job, is assisting AI programs to help me do my job. So I work quite closely with programs that will pick out patterns of people doing stuff and tell me this is sus, or, check thousands of IPs a second rather than me having to do it manually over an hour. Like, my whole job is, hey, look for these parameters, Mr. Computer Bot Man, and tell me what's going on here. Like, that is what I do, is I work alongside AI programs. Sorry.
Oh, fuck, Power Rangers. Power Rangers.
I think it's listening.
It's listening, and he's getting told.
He just got, you are correct,
Yeah,
Lindsay.
Yellow Ranger, you've lost 8 inches. You are out.
For those at home, I'm wearing a yellow jumper.
I think you're right, Lindsay. I think it's a useful tool. I work very closely with artists who, there's a big backlash from the artistic community to go, well, it's creating pictures and that's my job, and it's creating, and I hear that, and I hear that a lot of people will go out of work. I think that's a very personal outcome, and again, capitalist outcome. I find it very, very useful to do the things that I don't want to do so that I can focus on the things that I do. So I've used it to create AI pictures of our characters. I don't have a skill set. I haven't done my 10,000 hours to learn how to draw or to create art. It lets me be creative using that tool because I haven't done my 10,000 hours to be an expert in that. It lets me get to the thing that I want to say and have a meaning or a purpose to say something without having a skill set to support that in a way that makes the most sense. It gives me more languages to use to express myself.
I've never agreed with you more in my life. That was very eloquently put. Well done. I don't know how to feel about how well you just summed up my thoughts then. I've moved on a little bit because the purpose conversation is actually where I'm stuck in a little bit, because what the purpose of stuff, like we talk about society right now. We have so many issues in our society because people are saying, mum has to go to work, dad has to go to work, the kids need to go to a school and they need to learn because mum and dad both have to be economy driven and all of that kind of stuff. And we're seeing the breakdown for me in some of the moral fabric and the way people are connecting. And I think, when you talk about purpose, I sat here for a moment and I thought, what is my purpose? My purpose is actually my family unit and the friends and the relationships that I have in the moment. And if AI can give me more time to be the parent or be the brother or be the, husband or be whatever it is that I can be a bit better, then I'm kind of all for that. And that's what actually drives me. Like me, I don't wake up in the morning and go, I'm going to my job because my job gives me so much fulfillment. I go because I go to my job and I do my job as well as I can because it makes meaning for me being away from the people that I love. And if I do that well, it actually justifies why I'm not with these people. So I'll go there and I have to make it worthwhile because, otherwise what's the point of leaving them? And then you come back to your family unit and you try and give them the most. And sometimes you're so drained from doing the other that you don't give one or the other the best of you. And I'm like, well, maybe that's the idea of AI or, automation or the world that we have of doing that. I wonder, I often sit and wonder what life would have been like a long time ago when we had to walk down with a bucket to a river to get the daily water and spend enormous amounts of time doing menial tasks, but not having the complexity tasks that we somewhat have today. And I wonder if tasks are just going to get more and more complex as the more menial tasks disappear from our lives.
I feel like that should be a challenge. That if we get 1,000 likes, 1,000 follows, we'll spend a weekend doing everything menially.
Going down to a river and doing a buck. Now, I just came back from a camping trip. It was raining and it fucking sucked.
Yeah.
No.
No. I'm watching the TV show Alone where they drop off 10 people.
I
in the
love
middle of nowhere.
Alone.
And I've just started watching the first season of the US one where there are bears and coyotes and wolves. And Dimmy and I were just sitting there going, nah, no fucking way. Nah, no fucking way. And I was like, bears, no problem. Coyotes, no worries. Is that a fucking rat? No way. No way.
I love Alone. Like, I've seen, there's one episode in like one of the seasons where they're in, because all the time they spend all the time in Alaska or
It's somewhere
Arctic
cold,
Circle
right?
somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
There's one where they like have to survive for as long as possible. And the guy that wins it, he only does it because he manages to kill a muskox.
Yeah.
And
That's season 4.
oh, is it? Yeah. And he shoots it twice with an arrow and it still doesn't die and it's like bleeding out. So it's fairly weak. He fucking stabs it to death with his knife.
He tracked it for like miles
Yeah.
before he stabs it to death.
Yeah.
He was the guy that lasted 100
Yeah,
days.
he used all of it. Like he ate its brain
Uh-huh.
and like turned its fat into lip balm, and
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, no.
it was amazing.
Oh, it's amazing to see what they're doing.
Yeah.
And these guys are out there with 10 things that they can bring, and, you know, they are doing the menial tasks.
Killed a wolverine with a hand axe because of eating his
But
muskox.
it's so much time to do that, like starting
No,
a fire
it's not enough
and
time.
getting the wood.
A lot of
and-
them are going, it's not enough time to build a shelter, build fire,
Yeah.
catch food. Do all, it's not enough time when you're running out of your body's resources
Yeah.
to do
Yeah.
that stuff with. Surprisingly, though, they have enough time to move into a philosophical space. While those meaningful tasks are not occupying your mind, their mind is the thing that is playing tricks on them, that is doing them in, and it's the mind game that gets them to stay or not, not hunger or, you know, very few of them get removed because of medical issues. Most of them get removed because they miss their family. They miss the comfort. They're scared. They're, you know, in fear of their life. That's why they get removed. It's all brain stuff.
Wow. This is a big discussion that we had that started from a little one. Here's my follow-up question. Have you used ChatGPT or AI for anything? We've already talked about doing
fuck
artworks
yeah.
and stuff.
Played around with it a little bit, but not.
Yeah, use it all the time?
Used it. No.
I literally, you said just before, I wonder if we could do a dicey question. I have 10
Yeah,
of them
no,
in front of me.
it occurred to me while we were talking about this. I was like, I wonder if we could use it
like
as a
any good, though.
demonstration.
I've had it write me stuff we've used on the podcast. I've had it create parts. There's parts maybe coming up that I've created using
I have
AI.
one of
Spot them.
JR's songs was written in.
This podcast has a whole business plan written in ChatGPT.
Yeah.
It's got a bunch of stuff. I've done job interviews and job applications through ChatGPT. And it's really useful to
It can
kind of
punch up my language
Right.
so
So
much
much.
better than I can do.
a eulogy for a friend, a eulogy for JR, all done through ChatGPT.
These are the things that I think are very interesting. I mean,
None
all
of
of that
that-
said, though, you still have to read through it, and
None
you
of
still
that
have
stuff
to.
he could have done without me putting in the right questions. And, you know,
Yeah,
I would
yeah,
have
yeah.
worked for hours to get the right outcome out of that tool. I will do my 10,000 hours to be able to use that tool really, really well to get what I need out of it. It's just it's the multi-tool.
But it's fair to say you still have to massage it. Like you can say to the AI, go make me a pot. But if it doesn't look like the thing that you had in your mind, or it's not fit for the purpose that you have,
Yeah,
you
it-
still have to go
it could make
make
you-
the lip bigger, make it more bold.
Yeah, it can make you a flower pot, a saucepan.
Make it have a funnel, put red dots on it, put this. Like it just does the thing that maybe you don't have the skills to do because you don't have the time. Interesting.
Tell us what you think on Facebook or Instagram's picture. Tell us what you think on Facebook. Or send us a TikTok about it.
Or ask ChatGPT what it thinks in your place and send us that.
So what's the dicey question that ChatGPT came up with then?
Well, I'll give you. I'm not going to give you all of them because
No,
I'm going to
just
use
one.
some
Yeah,
of
just
these.
one. Pick a good
but
one.
some of them are pretty good. Okay, how about
Are Jedi the generals in the clone army?
now?
Ask it that. Ask it that.
I will in a second.
Doing it now?
It's given me some stuff here, but I like this one. Like, have you ever been involved in a situation where you questioned your own identity or struggled with self-acceptance? If so, how did you overcome it? Very interesting. Like, they're all very philosophical like that. All right, so
I'm doing it.
Jedi a part. I wonder if we get a different answer because depending on what our ChatGPT inputs, maybe we get a different algorithm as
Well,
well.
it depends on what you ask it, right?
So what was that? Struggle with your identity? I got an answer
We've
for
got
that
a
one.
problem. Oh, we've got a problem.
Yeah, what does yours say?
Well, I asked it, Are Jedi generals in the clone army? Provide references to support your argument.
If we come up as a reference, do we come up as a reference? All right. Okay.
No, generals were not part of the clone army. They were commanders and leaders who worked alongside the clone troopers during the Clone Wars. Here are some references to support this argument. Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones 2002. In the film, it established that the Jedi Order was involved in the creation of the clone army. However, the Jedi were not part of the army itself, but rather worked in a leadership capacity. Star Wars The Clone Wars 2008-2020. The animated series explores the events of the Clone Wars in greater detail. Throughout the series, Jedi such as Anakin Skywalker, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and Ahsoka Tano are depicted as generals who lead the clone troopers into battle. They strategize, provide guidance, and make tactical decisions alongside their troops. Isn't that the thing? So this is ChatGPT, not...
So obviously
Plain.
there are some kinks that need to be worked out with
Look,
ChatGPT.
I just-
It's not accurate.
It doesn't
Yeah.
understand.
I just think we need to stop there.
I think
And
Justin is an AI.
I would like to change my answer.
Yeah.
I think ChatGPT sucks and we shouldn't be using
I
AI.
think we need to stop there and I not read the answer to my question.
Yeah, no, I want to hear what you got. That's
My
important.
question was, are Jedi a part of the clone army? I didn't even write are part of clone army. Yes. Comma. Jedi were indeed part of the clone army during the time of the Clone
is
Wars and Star Wars universe.
No
But-
consistency there at all.
But it does go on to say the Jedi served as general strategists and warriors utilizing their force ability in conjunction with the clone troopers' military training. However, it is important to note not all Jedi participated in the wars. Some had reservations about the conflict and its connection to the Dark Force. So very interesting. It says Jedi Knights and Masters were often assigned as leaders or commanders within the clone army and fought alongside the clone.
Okay, now I'm back on board,
So,
Chat.
so I've just asked it, doesn't this suggest that they are part
You're
of the
not
clone
flaky
army?
at all, are you?
So I asked it, doesn't this suggest that they are part of the clone army? It's come back with, apologies for the confusion. You're right, my previous response wasn't clear. Let me correct that. Jedi generals were indeed part of the clone army in the sense that they commanded and led the clone troopers in battle. They were appointed to high-ranking positions in the Grand Army of the Republic.
Oh, you look so crestfallen now.
That's not true.
Here are revised references to support this argument. Okay, baby.
Yeah, but the conversation is, were the Jedi? You know, yes, there were people that were
Don't try and
Jedis.
wriggle out of this with a fucking technicality now. No.
All Jedis weren't part of the
So
clone
you're
army.
saying that Germany wasn't part of World War II because only some Germans fought in it.
That's correct. That is correct. That's actually correct. That's like saying that people in Russia, every person in Russia wants to invade the Ukraine. They don't. Not every person is on board with that.
I think ChatGPT just corrected itself, and that's, you
Nice.
know,
That's
interestingly.
self-awareness.
But
Skynet
Fuck
is
this
it?
answer.
it depends on
Fucking
how I
sick of
had to ask the question, right? I think that's,
It
that proves
depended
the
on
point.
how I had to ask the question in a biased way. So, anyway, let's get back to this game that we've got at hand here. Where we left, if I am not mistaken, we have the two probably main characters. And if you notice my body language right now, I've actually turned my back on Lindsay. I'm actually
The
moving so
listeners
Lindsay
can't
gets,
notice your body
gets my
language.
cold shoulder.
On who?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, you can leave now. You're not welcome at this
That's right,
table
nice
anymore.
question.
Yeah, you are
Savage.
You are replaced by Chat GPT.
I'm
Do you want
just
me
going
to
to ask
you
you.
just call me if you need me for the
Yeah,
next question.
that's right. Get us
Required
drinks.
on the Fumble Through podcast.
I'll go sit in the comfy chair.
See what happens now when you have a purpose? Yep, there you go. Flipping life, off
I
we
thought
go.
Lindsay's still supposed to do the recap. I'm still relying on you. Lindsay,
Take a picture. That's what you need. I think it's on the socials.
Lindsay almost just fell out of a chair.
I'm not sure about the yellow, orange, red combination there. That's a little bit of an assault on the senses.
It's very McDonald's.
Ronald.
Anyway, so where we last left it, you guys had returned to Phandalin after you had suffered the loss of a character that we all held a little dear in our hearts. And you've gone back to Phandalin and you've been sent on another quest. What are you guys up to right now?
What are we up to?
Were we heading to an orphanage? I don't know. I've got orphanage at Sugar Rock Manor. That's all I
Lindsay,
can...
come back. Lindsay, they don't know what's happening in the game. Come back.
It's Sugar Notch Manor.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it an orphanage?
No, it was his house that he wants to turn into an orphanage.
Ah.
That was part of his will, and it came up when I was looking for pseudonyms for vaginas. Which is like sugar notch.
Okay, leave again.
Just writing that one down.
See, ChatGPT couldn't pull that one out.
Yeah, wow. That
So
was
you could Lindsay. His 8 inches are no longer hair.
That's why I have 2 kids.
So, what
the
is
last thing that happened was
Yeah.
you guys were leaving Phandalin and Pell wanted to come along with you.
Mm-hmm.
He had put all of his adventuring gear on and you had to basically tell him
where were we going, Justin? Just to remind the audience what we were doing.
you were going to a place. You were sent on the mission to go to a place called Axelhome, which was an ancient dwarven kind of stronghold where they think that maybe everyone could go for refuge, and they needed someone to go and make sure that it was okay, while Falcon and the rest of the crew stayed behind and protected the people.
And as I recall, we sternly told Pell that he couldn't come with us.
Yeah, you broke Pell's little heart. So Pell is dejected. You basically threw stones at him.
You
said,
pelted him with
we don't want you
insults.
here. Get away from us. And you started moving towards the Sword Mountains in a southeasterly direction towards Axelhome. Yeah. It's about this time that I realised that having a character like JR who can sum up exactly what has
actually
been
helpful.
happening is actually extremely helpful for the other players on the
straight
table who
up.
don't take notes.
Look, one of the things that a game table like this does is it allocates roles to people. So my role is to make sure we're recording, that I do a lot of the background work
Cooking.
in terms of solving the technical issues of this podcast. Lindsay was holding us true to our direction within the story.
Mhm.
And,
And I have no idea what I was doing.
and Luke burnt shit.
Yeah, I blew stuff up. That was the sentence I was trying to say.
Yeah. So you guys find yourselves on the road. They reckon it's going to take about a day for you to get from Phandalin all the way down to where Axelhome. Axelhome's probably more southerly, actually. It's southeast than it is.
Can you make a note of that, Lindsay?
Yeah.
Can't. I'm dead.
Don't call me names.
Oh, that's not fun. So yeah, what you know is that it's carved into the mountainsides of the Sword Mountains, and it was abandoned or believed abandoned long ago. But they just, after hearing the tales of the rat folk who have gone into other places, they just want somebody to go there, make sure it's safe, use your stones to communicate back to Falcon. And then they'll bring all the townsfolk because they're worried now that the dragon
We are
has
advanced
started
party.
becoming a little more aggravated, that's going to be happening.
Make sure you take off your red shirts.
So, yeah.
I gave mine to
JR.
Don John. So we're on the way to Axelhome, southeast.
Mhm.
We're an advanced party.
You and me
Yep.
and
Just the two of
you
you.
and me. Cool.
That's it.
Okay.
I'm on the ground.
We're
You're in the
skating out.
air. I'm lagging a little bit behind you, unless I'm on.
I'm circling like a vulture.
You got a horse.
I'm
Skeletal
on a
horse.
50-foot moving
50-foot
horse.
horse?
Well, it's a 50-foot moving horse, isn't it?
Yeah.
My feet are dragging on the
Scuffling.
ground. There's 4 hoof prints and then 2 feet drag marks on the side of it.
No, he can adjust his legs. He took bones out for
Oh, did he? He took the femurs out.
yeah to fit JR and then puts them
Right.
back in.
He was a pony earlier.
Yeah.
So,
Cool.
During the day-long journey to Axelhome from Phandalin, you start moving through the grassy lowlands of the mountains that have become so familiar to you lately. You get into those rocky foothills of the Stone Mountains, and then you start moving a little higher. It starts to get colder as the colder months are coming in. The snow's starting to push lower, and it starts to get a little more frozen. And in the midst of this frozen expanse, you come across a bit of an ice tundra part where there's not too much there, like a breezeway. The geography of this place has meant that the wind hits the mountains in such a way that the trees sort of have moved away, and there's a bit of a tundra going in place. And there's rocks and jagged parts from the mountain, and like copses of trees, but not a lot of tree cover here. But you come across a dire scene. You see in the distance, trapped within a massive block of ice and partially exposed, is a stalwart and unyielding dwarven figure.
Hmm.
You see that, the dwarven figure's eyes are kind of locked in or flicker with determination as they are locked onto what looks like a pair of approaching yetis.
Oh, fuck.
And while this dwarven face looks concerned, it doesn't really look like it's panicking, or it looks quite calm. But what you do notice around this is that specifically in this block of ice, the dwarven beard has been stuck in ice. It looks like maybe they were sitting there and like something fell on top of them and sort of has crushed one of their legs, like not crushed, but trapped it under some ice. But mostly the beard is trapped in
So
a
it's not
block
encased in ice. It's trapped.
no, and
by
it's
ice.
clearly like moving around and stuff.
Okay.
And you can, even as you're looking at it, you can see that it's kind of reaching for a cluster of weird looking mushrooms that are growing in the ice around this little block, this sheltered area. Yeah. And as you kind of are moving towards it, you can hear that these yetis' menacing growls are growing louder, and you can see that their hunger is quite imminent.
So JR's immediate thought is to go to the rescue. Sorry. So Moradius' immediate thought is to go to the rescue of this dwarf, but then he thinks to himself, no, we are the advanced scout for the town and this might inhibit that. We have a purpose here. Let's leave this to its natural causes and move along.
It's a trap.
That's like every character that's ever been brought into our casual game.
How far away are the Yetis from the
I
mushroom
knew you were
man?
going to ask this.
What I want to do, so Nycrin's is going to attempt to fly down, seeing the mushroom is somewhat frozen to the spot. Is that what we're saying?
No, it's a dwarf that's frozen into like a little ice block, but in a
Is it
area
like he's
that
licked the ice and he's stuck on it?
How frozen in it is he? Is he like?
he's trapped.
So what would thaw?
entire-
Do I feel like a campfire would thaw this out?
Yeah,
quickly?
you feel like you could probably even break the ice and get there, but something is crushed on. It's almost like a little bit of water has come in there. But yes, you definitely could free this. This isn't like the frozen death that you've seen.
So I mean,
twice
like, would
before.
like a standard campfire be quick enough to thaw the?
No.
So it needs something like burning hands, or
You would need
fireball.
to maybe chip him out. Like
Five beads of
peck him
fireball.
out.
Yeah, like imagine if someone froze your car keys into a bathtub full of water. Like, how would you get that out? That's the kind of
Or
thing.
frozen your pop vinyl in a Tupperware.
I don't know what that would be
Yeah,
like,
right,
Luke.
okay.
I've never frozen your pop. That was someone else that did that. I never froze your He-Man.
Son of a bitch.
Moradius is riding on Phandalin. What's the scandal?
Scoffling.
He will dismount and leave Scoffling alone, look up to the sky and go, you free the dwarf, I'll take the Yetis.
Okay, so
They are mine. The challenge of the Yetis, I shall take them on.
You think you've probably got enough? Like it goes you guys, the dwarf, then the Yetis on the other side of you. So you think you might have enough time to get to the dwarf, so that you can protect him, or even try to attempt to free this dwarf.
Oh, well, if that's the case, then he'll stay on the horse and charge to the Yetis.
okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Nycrin's going to fly down and start trying to free him up. I'm going to light a little campfire using prestidigitation right next to him to hopefully help thaw some of the ice as I'm chipping away with my beak. Yep, that's what I'm doing. Is he talking? Is he frozen his mouth shut?
No.
Oh my god!
Shush now.
Hey man, thank you for rescuing, man. I don't know what's happened. This I just was trying to get those mushrooms, man.
How dare you misgender me?
There's not gender. I mean, I could call you bird, but man and bird. It's a colloquialism.
Be quiet now.
Nycrin, you hold him out.
I'll light the fire and I'll start chipping away. Ooh, what do I know about? Can I take a knowledge check on dwarves and their beards? Would it be an issue if I cut his beard?
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
This came immediately from the dwarf.
These are much better conversations to have with each other than me.
Anyway, I'm lighting the fire. I'm chipping away. Shush now. We'll have you out in the flashiest of flashes.
So you fly down and you see this dwarf that's trapped. Clearly, there's parts of him, and you can even see that he's made some attempts to chip
a
himself
pupil in his
out.
eye.
And this Mr. Dwarf, you know that you could probably give some insight that if somebody put some pressure or hit the ice at a certain place, it would probably be able to free you in parts, or especially free your foot that's caught in the ice itself as well.
Now, I don't usually believe in violence, man, but if you hit this spot right here, I think Grund and I will aid you and you'll be able to, like, shatter the ice, freeing my foot.
Hitting isn't quite my thing.
You just got to believe in yourself, man. Like, just take a deep breath and then exhale and then just give it a whack with all you've got. You're very pretty. I like the blue. It really suits you.
Okay. So I'm going to take a crack, smack the area that he's... Just hold still. Hold still. It would be a real shame.
Too, man.
It would be a real shame for that beard to get severed.
Now just calm down. You know, don't panic, man.
So do I need...
All's good in the hood.
So
What are you using to break the ice?
Glass of wine.
No.
It's thick ice. Because my initial thought was if I light a little campfire using prestidigitation, I'd be able to melt the ice enough for him to get free quickly enough. So I can't do that. So I've got to hit it with something, have I?
Yeah.
Let me... a dagger. I'm going to use a dagger to chip away. Is that...
So you start, you pull out a dagger
Yep.
and you start attempting to chip, especially at his foot, because you think the foot is the thing that's really anchored him in place. While his head sort of moved a little bit and caught with the beard, it's his foot that is really there.
And you're a smart bird. You know that the ice is very hard, but his leg is very, very soft to cut through.
You can all, even with what you've seen and the experiences that you've had, you can see that his leg is starting to change color, and there is a time part here where his leg is going to be not useful anymore. But we're going to cut over to Moradius right now. Moradius, you're on the back of Scofflin, and you run straight past this dwarf on Scofflin.
Yep. He looks sideways as Nycrin lands near the dwarf. He goes, all right, they'll get that. I need to give them time. That foot's going to take some time to get released. And then he guides Scofflin 10 foot past the Yeti to go past the Yetis and turn them around, so that either they've got to turn around and chase him and he's dragging them away from the dwarf and Nycrin, or he's going to be able to turn around and get them in a pincer movement, knowing that a fireball will come from one spot and his new sword and shield will come from the other, and likely these Yetis won't survive that kind of tactical advantage.
So how close? Like you're skirting around
10 foot
the
past them.
Yetis?
10 foot past them, thinking they're not going to get me at 10 foot. If they got a 10 foot reach, he's going to get smashed.
So to bring this into rounds, because it is a little bit chaotic if we don't do this, in the first sort of turn, you get Scofflin. Scofflin moves at 40?
Scofflin's 50, I believe.
Yeah, Scofflin's 50.
At 50. So Scofflin moves up to the dwarf, and then 50 feet past the dwarf if you use two moves to do that in that first turn. That's that same turn when Nycrin has flown down and assesses the situation, pulls out his dagger, looking at the ice. So moving in rounds as well. So this is where we're going to go. You're still about 20 feet away from the Yetis at this point. So the Yetis were moving. They were a little distance away. Yep. They weren't in immediate, the dwarf isn't in immediate danger. So you've still got about 20 feet before you need to either engage or move around them. If that. So
he's going to move 10 foot beside them, past them.
Yeah.
So he's 30 foot on the other side of them, and then he's going to chuck a javelin at one of them.
Okay. So we'll do that in a second. We'll cut back to the dwarf. So dwarf and bird, what's going on?
So I'm Nycrin's frantically chipping away at this ice. With some concern on the state of the leg. Can I cast Minor Illusion to make it look like it's all okay?
What do you mean?
It's all going to be fine. It's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. It's not a problem. No, so scratch that idea. So I'm just chipping away. What? Why are you here? What are you doing? What happened? What are you doing here?
Well, I actually work for the Grundenor Peace Corps, man. Like, I heard there's a place here that was taken over a long time ago, and they send us out to try and make the peace.
On your own?
Yeah, man. Like, if it's peace, why do you need an army, man? Anyway, I heard there's some gnomes here that really like some shrooms, and I'm a partial to shrooms myself. So I just went out and had to investigate them myself, and they just, fell over and trapped my leg in ice, and yeah, I was tripping hard, man.
Well, hold still. I'll hopefully have you out in a jiffy. But just to be sure, while I'm doing this, are you really attached to this leg?
I mean, it's grown on me over the years.
Okay, cool. Sure. Yes. There's no way to do a non-lethal burning hands, is there? To melt the ice, right?
Make an intelligence check.
Intelligence, you say? To shred, you say?
My brain is going, you put the dagger in your mouth and you hit the ice like a woodpecker.
It's going to add peg leg to Flunt.
That's not good.
It's character sheet.
7.
You feel like yes, a fire spell could work in this situation, but you aren't sure that, like, if you didn't get because of the way he's sort of fallen and trapped, you can either get the leg or the beard. Like, one of them's going to have to go if you use a fire spell.
No, don't. If I use a fire spell,
Yeah.
right. So how confident am I that chipping away with the knife is going to work?
You can chip away from the knife. Again, you've got to free both things because it's the head and the foot that are locked in the ice. So
perhaps you understand that you can free him with fire, but you will do damage if you do it from the outside. But an internal fireball, if you do it down his mouth, through down to the leg.
Yes. Okay. Agnazar Scorcher.
He'll never miss the leg if he doesn't have a head.
So you're attached to the leg. Well, what about the beard? How are you about the beard? I mean, you got to work with me here. I got to try to get you out of the ice. You're going to lose one of them.
I mean, man, dwarfen's beard is quite an important thing in our culture. I don't know, man. That's a tough decision. It's like, which chard would you sacrifice?
So, Justin, just to be clear,
Yours.
I'm confident that he's either I need to cut one of these things to expedite him out of the ice.
Yeah,
otherwise it's not going to happen.
You're either going to have to kill the Yetis and take the time to get both things out, or you're going to have to get him out of the ice now. And the easiest way, like you assessing the situation, you're looking at him and you're like, if I just chopped his beard off, I could get his foot out. I'm either going to have to get one or the other. Like, you could,
but the
chop
time
his leg off
is more because of the Yetis and not because he's going to lose his leg for frostbite.
Well, there's part of that as well. So he's been here for a little. He looks cold enough that it's not. He's going to require some assistance.
If I light a little campfire next to him, is that going to stave off the frostbite somewhat?
Lighting a campfire will do something, but that's not a 6-second kind of thing. And prestidigitation can warm him up, but it can make him feel comfortable, but it doesn't actually stave off the coldy kind of effects. Like, it creates wind. You can't create like a campfire.
Yeah, you can. You can instantaneously light or snuff out a candle, a torch, or a small campfire.
Yeah, but you've got to make a fire. You've actually got to get wood and put a fire down, so you can set something on fire. Like, it's basically a lighter that you're doing.
So what I'm hearing is, on the triage, is the foot's going to go. The beard won't go quickly, so you can give it some time. Perhaps the Yetis will get there. It's whether the Yetis will get there before the foot will go or not, and Moradius is trying to hold off the Yeti, so you've got time to release that foot.
Yeah. So are you going to start chipping out? Are you going to use a spell? I'm going
to start chipping out.
Okay, so you start using the knife to chip out. Just make a strength check for me.
No. Come on, I've been rolling crap. 14. You with the aid of this unnamed dwarf, you press the knife into a part and you sort of push, and he's like right here, and he kind of gives you as much aid as he can, so you can actually get advantage on your roll. So if you want to roll it again. No, you're right.
Okay, and You see small cracks in the ice coming out, and you feel like with a little bit more work, you could probably break whatever is there that's holding it in place.
Do I look like I'll glance over and see Moradius seems to have things under control, and I know.
You see Moradius marching or riding towards the Yetis, which is a nice place.
Scotland's riding Moradius past the Yetis.
So Moradius, you start moving towards these Yetis. You get within, you're within sort of that 20-foot range.
Yep. I've gone past them, right?
With this, you've got to that 50.
Yep.
So this is they've just acted as you're about to move.
Gotcha.
Okay. So within about 30 foot though, something very interesting happens. Each of the Yetis kind of looks at you with their red glowing eyes, and some type of fear takes place over you. I need you to make me a Constitution saving throw, please.
Oh, great.
It's not my best save at +6.
Mm-hmm. I need you to make 2 of them as both of these Yetis look at you. This effect is called a chilling gaze.
Oh. The first one was a 15 and the second one was a 19.
Okay. You feel
Only you're in 10 feet of me.
You feel a cold sort of come over you a little bit, and almost a fear that kind of stops you in motion, but it doesn't take hold of you, and you continue to move around.
The horse
Mm-hmm.
rolled a 9 and a 14 on any fear saves if it has to.
Oh.
It's undead. Undead's
No.
immune to fear.
Oh,
No,
great.
because they can only target one creature, and they were
Excellent.
targeting you.
So he then guides the horse 10 foot past it,
Mm-hmm.
moves to 30 foot away on the other side of it,
Mhm.
turns and throws a javelin. If there's one closer to the dwarf and to Nycrin,
They're
he will
both
throw
sort
it.
of the same. So,
So he
there's
will
not-
throw at the one on the left.
Okay. Make your attack.
He will miss.
Okay, so you see a javelin. So from
warning
where you
shot.
are, you see you see Moradius on the back of a horse move past these Yetis, turn around, throw a javelin. It sticks in the dirt behind him. You see the Yetis themselves have kind of screamed. They've kind of
And he will sit there on the horse,
There.
raise his shield, raise his
Yep.
sword and go, come,
Yeah.
face me.
So you
What
can
a great challenge.
You can see one of them turns around and is especially intent on Moradius. The other one sort of looks back and forward as if it's a little undecided around what it's going to do, whether it's going to come for you and the dwarf or whether it's going to take Moradius out.
Okay.
Back to you. What are you going to do?
I'm gonna keep
Dwarf,
chipping.
you
Chip,
get
chip,
an
chip,
action too. Is there anything that you are looking at doing right here?
Do I have my hammer?
It's just out of reach. Otherwise, if you had your hammer, you would have probably gotten out of here already.
Can I pass him the hammer
Yes.
if he tells me he wants it?
Dude, man, can you grab my hammer? Maybe I can help.
Yeah, a hammer. You have a hammer. I'm trying to get you out of the ice. Now you tell me you have a hammer.
Sorry that you can't perceive a two-handed hammer that's just out of my reach, man. Sounds like a you problem.
Well, I'm perceiving. Oh, can I cut his beard off? I'm done with this dwarf already. Okay, I'll pass him the hammer.
Okay. So you grab his hammer. Do you
You do you.
Do you continue to try and chip him out of the ice?
I'm just thinking now, like hammer and pick. I think.
Oh,
yeah.
It's a great idea, man. You hold it still and all this.
No. You hold you hold both. I'll give you my other dagger because I have 2, so I'll give him another dagger. Yeah, and he's all good now.
It's a
Yeah.
two-handed hammer, man.
Yeah.
I'm going to need someone to
It's
hold.
8 inches, is it?
I'm
Okay.
going to have to say, I need someone to hold the dagger.
Yeah.
Man.
He's also at a position like if your leg's trapped in ice, you don't have it's hard. He can't get the right swing.
Okay, I
and
see that you're making
angle.
it difficult for us. It's
Yeah.
fine, Justin. Okay, so I'll just keep chipping with the dagger.
I mean, if you don't trust
Like
me,
he
man, I
he
can hold the
definitely
dagger.
assist you.
Sure,
Do you want me to hold the dagger, man, and you use the hammer?
sure.
I mean, I trust you. You're trying to rescue me. I'm happy to,
generic assistance would be great. Thank you. Here, I don't want to. Are we going to role play me getting my
Righto,
my
man.
hand
Okay.
crushed?
Do another
Strength.
strength check for me.
Do
You
I
can
have to?
assist. Like it depends which
Natural
one.
20
That's the way, dude.
You get advantage on that.
You roll better than that.
and 4.
Okay.
Okay, natural 20 with a -1, so
You-
19.
the ice around his leg kind of cracks a bit and falls apart enough that his leg is freed from the ice. The only problem right now, it's blue, like, you know, it's still encased in boots and stuff, so there was enough protection there, but, you know, it's probably a little numb, like you've been sitting on the toilet for too long, but But you know, the warmth starts to free and you can move it. Like immediately you can see him wiggle his toes in amongst his boots. The problem now is that his beard is still stuck in the ice.
At this point, then I hand him the dagger and I say, "If you don't want your beard cut, you can deal with it."
Right, oh, dude, thank you. Do you want to? Just okay.
I don't want to be party to defacing a dwarf.
Beardricide.
Yep.
Okay, are you going to do anything in particular, Mr. Dwarf?
I'm going to try and cut out a big ice block around my beard.
Mm-hmm.
Just have it, you know,
Okay.
like a medallion.
Of course.
Again, if your
Like a
face is
clock.
kind of, it's really hard for you to actually see where you're going
Yeah, I
with
understand.
with the dagger because your beard and your like it's not the bottom of your beard. It's kind of like the half side of your
I
face.
totally understand.
Did you
Yeah.
bring another backup
You
character?
tell me
into?
what you want me to roll.
Just roll at this point, number one, roll a percentile
New
check, and number two, roll a
dice.
strength check.
See, my new dice are hard-edged and they're all moldy looking.
Oh, nice.
nice.
That's very cool. Where'd you get them
moldy.
from?
I got them from Vault Games.
Yeah.
The company doesn't have a name on the back.
Okay.
So the same one as last time, but I can't remember that name.
Okay.
But yeah.
Nice. All right. So first, roll a percentile. So this is actually no. Sorry. First, roll your strength check. Let's see how successful you are.
13.
Okay. Now roll a percentile because this is the ice and the beard and how much you're getting around and the cracking.
79.
Okay. You see some cracks forming in the ice around your beard, but still not enough. Like you're still stuck a bit
All right.
fast. You've got a little more movement, but you're still stuck fast in that
Does
ice.
he appear to be dealing with it, and I don't have to worry?
Well, you
too
watch
much?
some like a sheet of ice sort of fall off and seeing more of his beard become exposed. Moradius, you've got two yetis upon you. What are you going to be doing?
Do they move first, or do I wait for them? Are they coming at me? Where are they?
No, they seem to move after you.
Also, I'm going to wait for them to do what they do and then react to that.
Okay, perfect. Again, you see a little questioning in their eyes. And at that point, both of them turn and approach you. So they close the 30 foot up to you.
Yep.
Which they can both do quite easily and still make an attack. And the claws, much like Luke Skywalker on the back of a wampa.
It's not on the back of a wampa.
It's a tauntaun. He's on the
A
way.
tauntaun, sorry, with a wampa. The first attack upon you with a claw that seems to smash you in the side of the face is going to be, oh, this is good, 23.
That hits.
Doing 10 points of slashing damage and another 5 points of cold damage.
Oh, it's on now. Now it's on.
And the second of the Yetis with a roll even better than the first, although the angle isn't good, so it only does 5 points of slashing damage and 2 points of cold damage. So these rending claws come raking into you, and it's not just the feel of they're so cold. There's cold emanating so badly off these creatures that it almost freezes the wounds. So they don't bleed out, but you get cold damage straight after it.
Yep.
All right, what are you going to do?
So he'll respond and hit one with his brand new sword,
Mm-hmm.
trying to whack it, I guess. Let's roll that to hit first. 21 to hit
They'll definitely hit.
for 7 points of damage.
Oh, okay.
And then with his second attack, it's 21 to hit
Mm-hmm.
for 6 points of damage.
Mm-hmm.
And then he will guide his bony horse 40 feet away in the opposite direction of the dwarf.
Can
and
you do that
Nycrin.
and still do 2 attacks?
He can do 2 attacks because as an attack action, he can make a second attack
Yep,
action, and then
okay.
he can move. He will take an opportunity attack from both these creatures.
Okay. So you move Scofflin, in which direction did you say?
Directly opposite the dwarf and Nycrin. He's
So
trying to
further away
kite
from them.
away from.
Yep. All right. Again, 2 attacks come at you. Oh, that's 19 to hit for the first
Hits.
one. And the second one on an 8 is definitely not going to hit. But the first of the claw attacks does 5 points of slashing damage and another 4 points of cold streaks into you as you move the 50 foot away.
Just 40 foot away.
40 foot
He wants to
away
be
from
close,
Scoffin.
but close enough for them to feel like he's a threat. And he will bang his sword on his shield and say, "Come get me."
Okay. That brings us back to the blocks of ice and the people in the ice. Nycrin, you can go first.
Okay, so do I see it? How far away is this all happening from me?
From this is 70 feet.
70 feet. Okay,
Yeah.
and I see this all kicking off.
Yep.
So I've got the Yetis between me and Moradius because you went past them, right?
That's correct.
So what I will do is any particular
So it's
Yeti-
actually further away. The Yeti started 70 foot. Moradius has moved another 20 foot behind, so it's about 90 feet away.
Okay, cool. So so is there one that's particularly closer?
No, they're
All right.
both about the same.
They're right next to each other because they would have just hit me.
Okay, cool. So the one on the left, I am going to muster a firebolt and fire a firebolt at them. So let's go Eskimo. Hitting on a 20.
That'll definitely hit.
Okay, so I'll let you decide which one you want me to hit. Left or right, up to you. Left or right? Did I say left? I already
You said left.
I said left, sorry. And that is for 12 points of damage.
12 points
Fire
of damage.
Fire damage, yes. I think
You
it's
hear
fire
a
damage.
guttural shriek in a high-pitched voice from this Yeti as fire hits it. It seems to pat out the fire, and you, for the first time, see a bit of fear in its eyes, Moradius. Dwarfy, what are you going to do?
Keep working on my beard.
Mm-hmm.
So strength check first.
Strength check first.
For 16.
Mm-hmm. And then a percentile, please.
percentile. 86.
Your beard is free.
Yes. So I'm going to pick up my maul, and somewhere near where I was slain, I will have dug through the snow and I'll found this like kind of like a bucket hat, but it's literally kind of got a bucket and there's a giant mushroom growing out of it,
Right.
which I then put on my head. So it kind of looks like I'm wearing one of those, what are those Chinese straw hats called?
Oh, yeah. I know.
I look like Toad from Super Mario now, kind of thing. Got a big mushroom on my head.
Cool.
And then I start walking 25 feet towards.
You have to get up.
I get up. Didn't I
Gammy
say I
leg.
got up?
Yeah.
Well,
So-
no, I get
and
up.
get up and pick up all your shit.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I pick up some mushrooms.
All right. Moradius, it is your go. Oh, no, it's the Yetis' go because you waited for them. They no
I did.
longer move after you. There are 2 Yetis upon you. One of them looks at you, looks behind it, and it looks like it's making some kind of decision as to whether to go back. It turns around and both of them look at you. The one that was not hit by a firebolt, the one that you've been hitting,
Yep.
because you've both been hitting the one on your left, which is the opposite ones.
Yeah.
So the one that you have been hitting attempts to strike into you at a 21.
It can move more than 30 feet.
40 foot. They charge up 40 foot movement.
Great. Okay.
Yeah.
So it was 21 hits.
Yep. So it charges into you and it attempts to hit you. 8 slashing damage and 4 cold damage. You see the other one kind of look back and forwards at you, and it runs at you in more of a, how do you say, reckless. You get the feeling it's more of a reckless. It doesn't want to deal with whatever. Just hit it with fire damage, and it attempts to hit you, but it kind of second guesses itself. So for some reason, it has disadvantage, and this natural 20 that I just rolled gets re-rolled again. And we see whether or not 19 hits you.
It does.
So it still strikes into you, but you saw that it whatever hesitation it had, it's still kind of patting out the fire, I guess, if you will. And it's scared of that fire. But 8 points of slashing and 6 points of cold. That is a lot of
That's a
damage
big
one
bit of
character has
damage.
just taken.
Yep.
Your go.
He's going to take a withdraw action,
Mm-hmm.
and he's going to move
Back to me.
He's going to do a big circle around. So he's going to move 50 foot back and then kind of start arcing around if he can. So like 50 foot back and 30 foot to the left.
Okay, so you move. So you're kiting them sort of 50 foot back.
He doesn't want to get further than like 120 to 160 feet away, knowing what Nycrin's range has previously been.
Yeah. So you're 130 foot away from where Nycrin is right now anyway.
Yep.
So you move 50 foot sort of back, which gets you to about 180 feet.
Okay.
And then 30 foot to the side, unless you want to move like 20 and then start cycling towards your
No, I want to
companions.
be more than 50 feet away from them.
Okay. All right. So 50 foot and 30 foot
Yep.
left. Left or right?
Left.
Okay. Your left and my left.
Yep.
All right. Nycrin, it's your go.
Okay, I'm gonna fly towards the Yetis.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a 50-foot fly speed. So close 50 feet. So how far am I away now?
90 foot.
90 foot. So this is one of those moments where I'm like, are we in their territory? Are we invading? Is that what's provoking them into being hostile?
What's your alignment? Do you care?
That's a good question. What is my alignment? Where do I find that out?
I think he just said his character cared.
What will that be under?
A different game system.
Whether or not you're playing your character or not.
Like,
Well, you play your character, so it doesn't determine your alignment. You
look,
can
my-
be
my
lawful
boy-
good.
my
and
boy's
think
under-
that-
Under description,
under
mate.
distress.
Under description.
I'd say chaotic good is
Oh.
my
I don't have one. Great.
prediction.
There we go. Didn't actually bother putting that in. Evil. Let's go. So I'm gonna act on what I see, and what I see is my friend getting hit. So we're gonna cast. We're gonna go for gold. Here we go. You need to do. How close are they together? The Yetis.
They're next to each other.
All right, so this orb forms in front of Nycrin,
Mhm.
this small orange orb, which I then throw in the direction of the Yetis, and as it goes towards them, as it accelerates towards them, it expands into a 20-foot sphere, which encapsulates both of them. Dex save of 14 for them both, thank you.
Ooh. Okay, one of them definitely passes, and one of them critically fails.
Oh.
So the one that fails takes 27 damage.
Oh, jeez.
What kind of damage is
Fire
it?
damage.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
And the other one takes half of that, so I guess that's going to be rounded down,
13?
isn't it? It says 13 points of fire damage.
Okay, they both look very, very, very hurt at this point in time. You could even say bloodied. The one that took, they both seem to howl and shriek, and how do you? It's an overreaction to the fire that's on you. It's like it's as if they've picked up snow and they've sort of put it all over themselves. Like the fire has not only just damaged them, but it's scared the absolute bejesus out of them.
And Lycra will say, "Be gone! We're passing through. Get out of here!"
Okay, Dwarfy, what are you doing?
I'm going to double move towards the group. We'll be like, oh, poor Yetis. Why does everyone have to resort to violence? Man, it's just like so uncool.
You are not a fun guy.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Yeah, that you let that.
Yeah.
That is my turn.
So hey, you just double move.
Yeah.
Which is?
50 foot.
Okay. So you move 50 foot closer to the, and are you yelling? Are you screaming at
No.
them? Are you intending on distracting them? Like what's your
I'm
intent
mumbling.
here?
Because I want to get...
Okay. So your intent is just to move closer.
Yeah.
Okay. So you move 50 foot closer, mumbling to yourself, which then moves us back to the Yeti. So you move 50 foot back, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
So again, they're looking at you, and they kind of you see indecision. One of them will peel off. So one of them, seeing the dwarf moving up, turns around and moves towards the dwarf in a double move, moving 80 foot and actually getting right up into your face, Mr. Dwarf. The other one double moves at you, getting to you.
Right. Which one's the more damaged one?
They both look pretty damaged at this point in
Okay.
time.
Moradius would like to, he's used to riding on sleigh, so he'd like to move Scofflin past the guy next to him to the other one, but there doesn't seem to be enough mushroom here to get past him.
Nice.
Yeah. He's going to disengage and he's going to move another 50 foot back.
Okay, so you move yet another 50 foot back. So you're well and truly out of where Nycrin's reach at this point in time, just so you know.
Yep.
And you know it.
Yep.
Like you're over the 200 foot.
He
at
just
this
wants
point.
to be just enough out of room for that thing to hit him, but close enough to be a problem.
Okay. So, boom, 50 foot back is where you go. Nycrin, we're going to start with you. So
Sorry. And then he'll throw a javelin at it.
Oh, okay.
So
No, you withdrew, though.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
That's
Can't
true.
do
That's
that.
true.
so one of them's peeled off and run away, right?
One of them is still following Moradius, and one of them is moving back, and you can see it almost like within reach of the dwarf.
I thought the dwarf's coming up behind me, right?
No.
Oh, because I'm flying.
Yeah, because you're flying, and you also didn't move that far, did you?
I moved 50 feet.
Yeah,
which is what he moved.
is. So you're
He.
Well,
Yeah. So
there's
I'll be
one
I'm above
near
it,
you,
basically.
yeah.
Yeah. So do they have any? Do they seem to be disengaging or having any? They're just all right. They want to die. Okay. I'll move 50 feet towards Moradius, so that means they're going to be both in range either way. So I'm going to be halfway between both Yetis.
Mm-hmm. So you're 100. Moradius at this point, I think, is 230 feet away
Away
from where you originally started. So
minus
180.
50. Yeah, so I'm moving another 50 then. Okay.
Yeah. Which puts you
You're
in
130.
30.
Yeah, so I will firebolt with an 18 on the one that's at Moradius.
On an 18 with the one that will definitely hit.
Okay. That is 7 points of fire damage.
Okay. Wow. Again, it's howling and getting angrier and angrier and angrier at this point.
And how far away is the other one from Mushroom Boy?
You just moved 50 foot away from him. Like you were
He was directly below you.
He was directly below me.
Yeah.
How
So
far
you-
did they move?
So you and Mushroom Boy were under each
You know,
of
sorry,
the
the
same.
Yeti, how
and
far
the
away?
Yeti, one of the Yetis is engaging
Oh.
with the dwarf.
Okay.
So it
And
double
you
moved
moved
80.
50 foot past him,
Gotcha.
leaving him to
Sorry.
engage. Yeah.
I thought we were further away. Okay. Cool.
Mushroom Boy, as you're now being called.
I'm going to look at the Yeti
Mm-hmm.
and be like, dude, this is not worth it. Violence is not the answer. I recommend you leave and call your Yeti friend behind. Otherwise, I'm going to have to use my hammer here and put you to sleep, which I really don't want to have to do. So how about you just run along and go live your Yeti life? I'm sure it's pretty cool and all that jazz. Do I need to make a diplomacy or something?
Oh, you're trying to talk to it, like
Yeah.
diplomacy? Yes, you can make a diplomacy check. Just let me know that you're doing that before, rather than do I need to? Just say I'm making a diplomacy check.
Is that or persuasion?
Persuasion, I guess. 11.
Yeah, you don't seem like your words are getting through its aggressive howling and
Well-
frothing and spit.
I'm
lack
going to
of
hold
language.
any attack unless it attacks me first.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Just as a notice, all my attacks for this character are non-lethal.
All right.
It's impossible for me to kill things.
You will need to continue to say these things to me. All right, the Yetis go first. The first thing that happens is the Yeti that is in your face, Mr. Mushroom, looks at you and kind of roars a little bit. It just looks, its penetrating eyes, and you feel like a gust of cold
I'm immune to fear.
come straight at you. Can you make a Constitution save, please?
So it's not a fear thing?
No.
Oh.
Dang. Can you read those dice well? Or they
No,
look obscure?
not 12.
That is not enough. Your constitution wavers as you feel a wave of cold come across you.
Your beard's going to freeze back into the ice again. Is this what happened to him the first time?
You take 7 points of cold damage and you are now paralyzed.
You immune to that?
No. Not yet.
It's your turn though, because it got aggressive towards you.
All right, cool. Oh, well, I'm paralyzed.
right,
Does that mean he's
Moradius.
suffocating? Because if he's paralyzed and none of his muscles are working, his diaphragm
not
shut.
how
Okay.
paralysis
Just saying,
works.
just saying.
Moradius, the other one didn't have a turn. It didn't want to do anything. The other Yeti.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the other Yeti. The other Yeti charges at you. So it moves its double movement up to you and takes an attack right at the end in a charge maneuver and misses you.
Great.
I do not think a 14 is going to hit you.
Not right now, not with this nice, pretty shield.
Yeah. Oh, wait. Definitely misses. All right, you'll go.
So Moradius will disengage
Mhm.
and he's going to do a loping loop back now.
How far towards people are you moving?
He's got 100 foot, but he's going to do it in an arc. So
How
he'll
far
get
towards people are you moving? Stop telling me weird movements and tell me where you end.
Descriptive language.
I was using the description to figure out the maths.
Do you want me to draw a triangle?
80 foot back in between now, the Yeti and Nycrin.
So you move about 80 foot, which is almost about where
Actually,
Nycrin is.
90 foot. 90 foot.
That's exactly where Nycrin
Nycrin's
is.
130 feet away.
Okay.
So now he's only 40 feet from me.
Yeah, but you're up in the air
That's
at that
right.
point in time.
Like I just don't care.
All right, Nycrin, what are you going to do?
So seeing Moradius disengaging from that Yeti and knowing that I've already hit that one, and now looking at my poor mushroom guy and feeling that he's paralyzed. Is he vertical or is he prone?
He just freezes
He's
in
rigid,
place.
vertical.
He just kind of stops moving and just stays in place like he's frozen in place.
Okay, so I will fire a firebolt at the Yeti that's next to Mushroom Boy for a 23. Does that hit?
That'll definitely hit.
And that is for 15 points of fire damage. Rocketing firebolt comes pelting down from the air.
How much was it?
15 fire damage.
The firebolt scorches straight into its back, piercing straight through, and it falls to the ground at the feet of the dwarf.
I will avenge you.
That's what the other Yeti said.
Yeah. Does any of that heat thaw
No.
the mushroom out? Okay, cool.
Thor, that's not his name, Thor.
He's got a hammer though.
All right. Mushroom Man,
Is
can
it mushroom
you make
shaped?
a...
Is your hammer mushroom shaped?
Not
Because
the-
that would
not-
be amazing if it's a mushroom shaped hammer.
I should have thought of that.
Not the one in his hands.
What am I
Not
making?
anymore. Ancient Scotland.
So, Mushroom Man, at the end of your turn, you get to make another saving throw. So make the Constitution save, please.
Mushroom.
23.
mushroom man.
23. At that point, you kind of shake your head and you kind of shake out of it. And you can act, but not until next round.
Oh, man, he's dead. Oh, poor
So-
guy.
Smell of a roasted Yeti.
Which brings us back to the other
Other
Yeti,
Yeti.
which moves 80 foot, but still is too
10 foot
far
away.
away from you.
Great.
Yeah.
Um,
You can see frustration on it. You can see imagine you're a kid in the middle of two people throwing your bag over the top of your head. Like it's
Yeah.
got that look to it. It's
Yeah.
like it's angry. It's frustrated. It's watched its companions fall to the floor.
Yeah.
It's seeing you guys just fuck with it, really.
yeah. Moradius is going to move another 80 foot away.
Mm-hmm.
And as he passes under Nycrin and past Mushroom Guy, you will see significant cracks and ice within the shape of his stony form. He is not well at all.
Oh, really? Okay. Good
Right.
to know.
Nycrin.
Okay, so Firebolt XL5. Ooh. Does an 8 hit?
No, it does
So
not.
this one goes wide substantially.
Okay.
In his cockiness, you might say, Nycrin has forgot to aim and just
This hits the
haphazardly
dwarf.
waved his hand and cast Firebolt in the general vicinity of the Yeti, flying wide.
360
Okay.
no scope.
Dwarf boy, what are you going to do?
Are you, how close? Are you all?
He's the
Pretty
Yeti
far
that
past
was
us.
on
I've
the...
run past, ridden past you. You were just 30 feet back from you.
Okay. I'm going to yell at the remaining Yeti and be like, dude, your friend's unfortunately dead. So I think, it's going to be better for you and for our karma if you just go on your merry way. Like, I really don't want to have to hurt you. I'm not sure about these other two, but I personally do not want it on my conscience, another dead Yeti.
Kill the thing.
Diplomacy.
destroy it.
He's really far away from you. Like you're.
I'm yelling.
Yeah.
12. So
Okay.
probably, and then I'm going to ready attack if it comes aggressively towards me. I'm
Okay.
going to smack it.
Right. Okay. The Yeti's turn. The Yeti moves under you.
Mhm.
At which point it looks at you with a menacing, horrible gaze.
If I get paralyzed and I drop
yeah, you're in fucking trouble here.
Is
Make
he
a
right-
Constitution
Is he right
save.
under me? Is he right under me? Will I go down like an icy dart towards him? Sweet. It's a con check, did you say?
Mm-hmm.
It's one of your good ones, right?
That's not too bad. It's whether the dice allows it to be.
Please fail.
You fucker. You spoke that into existence. I rolled a 1.
Oh, no.
Okay. The first thing that happens is that you take some cold damage.
Okay.
It's not a lot. It's only 10 points.
Okay.
But your wings freeze in place. And paralysis takes over your body.
I glide down.
And you plummet. I'm going to say the 30 foot to the
Okay.
ground. And we're going to find out what happens.
Oh.
I can't believe you spoke that existence.
He did.
Fail it. 1.
Yeah.
I was like,
I watched the roll and I was like,
That was the best possible outcome for a roll, by the way. That is the best possible outcome for a roll.
I had this theatrical landing all figured out after I killed both the Yetis.
fireball as you land.
Yeah, and like just melt all the ice around me.
Well, to be
And
fair,
said now I'm going to plummet like an icy dart into
to be
it.
fair, had you hit with that last bolt, this probably wouldn't have happened.